Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Total Drama, the Ridonculous Race, Episode 2. So, last time we basically just got introduced to this concept. It takes place within the same canon and continuity as the Total Drama series proper, I guess you could call it. Except that it is a different show, a different reality show hosted by a different person. So, Chris is not involved. But we do have some of the Total Drama veterans returning for this, such as Jeff, for example. There's others too, but just as an example. And a bunch of new characters, excuse me, such as the goth couple. So it's pretty interesting, pretty interesting, and I'm definitely in based on the first episode. But who knows where it's going to go from here. In the first one, we kind of got our first leg of the race, and we're still headed towards the first circle, which is going to determine, I guess, who goes home. We'll see. I have maybe a couple favorite teams right now. The Goths are obviously like top tier for me, just because of their designs. They're just so good. But there's a couple other teams that I'm interested in as well. Well, we're just going to continue on and see how it goes. And just as a reminder, while this is replacing One Piece temporarily, One Piece will be returning in the future. This time slot is not going to necessarily be just completely taken over from here on out. Now, I'm also not going to say that One Piece will always be in the Monday time slot. When it comes back, it might take up another slot. Because by the time it comes back, we'll also have rebranded the channel, so things might change with that. But we'll see. We'll cover that when we get to it. And just, we'll just enjoy this for now. So, let's get into it. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Excuse me. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, we got the conclusion to this challenge. Arriving in Morocco, they have to choose a selection of 5 spices. It's put into a Moroccan stew, which one of them has to eat, so choosing the right spices is definitely valuable there. And then they have to race to get to the finish line. And our first elimination is the LARPers, which is not entirely surprising, because let's be honest, they just, obviously with the exaggeration on the character archetypes and everything in this, we see that the LARPers are very, in this case, very over, how do I put it? Over the top, I guess, is just the best way to say it. They're ridiculous, and they're treating like everything as if it's part of their LARP. Obviously, in real life, people don't do this. I've known LARPers. I've talked to LARPers about this kind of stuff, and it's like, no, they're regular people in real life. LARPing is just a fun little thing they like to do on the side. It's a hobby. Just like not all gamers are just constantly talking about and thinking about nothing but gaming and so on and so forth. it's just one aspect of who they are, one aspect of their character and personality. But in this, obviously, it's all exaggerated, which is the joke. It's what this is built around. But because of that, because they are so obsessed with LARPing to the point where they're just always doing it constantly, it was a notable hindrance for them, and it was always going to be. Even ignoring just the fact that they were trying to cast spells and everything, it's like they weren't they basically weren't acknowledging the reality of things around them, and it was hurting their ability to do anything in the challenge. And they're not the only team that was having troubles in regards to a lot of this. There were a couple teams that were just fighting amongst themselves. You saw the two sisters who were fighting with each other. You saw the mother and daughter, with the daughter still being a complete jackass and everything. You saw the stepbrothers who were still like being bitchy towards each other, stuff like that. But then you also saw a lot of teams that were working well together, and those teams, in a lot of cases, ended up doing a little better. So it's like, teamwork does make the dream work, you know? You have to be able to work together well, or you're not going to make it. Like, going through this and being pissy at each other or fighting with each other, it's like, how do you think that's going to help? How do you think that's going to help you win? I know this is a cartoon. I get that. I understand it's a dumb, silly cartoon, but still, it's just like, there are people in real life who would do some dumb shit like this. I've seen enough reality TV to know that, and it's ridiculous. My feelings towards a lot of the teams haven't really changed all that much. They're pretty much the same as they were after the first episode. But with there being so many different teams, it's still really hard to say, like, if I have a direct favorite. Like, I'm still kind of leaning towards the Goths just because of their aesthetic and everything. They just seem like... I just like their aesthetic the most. But there's other teams I do like the one girl and guy, the best friends, though she, not so secretly, has a massive crush on him. Like they're cute. They're cute. And hell, even though, like, the vegans are obviously very over the top with it all, I have no real issue with them so far. So yeah, it's just like, this was interesting. And the idea of, like, bringing in the spices and making the Moroccan stew and all was pretty cool. I like it when shows can, like, bring in that more culinary aspect to it, probably just because I like the culinary arts so much. Although I'm not really great at it, I do enjoy it. I took multiple culinary classes in school because I really liked just culinary arts. Even outside of just, liking food, because obviously, like, look at me, I like food. But even outside of that, it's like, yeah, I'm very interested in and very into the different styles of cooking, different cultures and their foods and stuff. And I kind of obviously would have liked more to go into this, but I know why they wouldn't. It's like, it's a dumb cartoon. It's like, they don't need to go into all the cultural specifications of a Moroccan stew or whatnot. But yeah, it's like, I just like that they include the kind of thing in there, and they did bring up some certain spices that would be in it, and that would make it work the best and everything. So yeah, that's definitely part of it. And I mean, it was cool. Although, I will say, the one part in this that really, like, bothered me was Owen drinking the camel spit to, like, quench the heat. And it's like, oh my god, that is so gross. Like, oh, just thinking, I actually almost just gagged there. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I felt it starting to come upward, and it's like, oh my god, that's so. Just thinking about that is so fucking disgusting. I'm not kidding you. I'm not exaggerating. Like, I felt it starting to come up just thinking about that. Like, wow, that was bad. Of course, it also probably makes it worse that I, like, right before recording this, I had lunch and everything. I had a bowl of chili. Um, that probably did not help with that. But wow, it's like, Jesus. Yeah, it's just, that is, like, really, really gross. Like, oh my god. And also, I don't think it would work. Like, one, water does not work to quench spicy stuff. Water doesn't do shit to quench spicy stuff. You need milk, bread, potatoes, stuff like that. Those are things that actually, dial back on the heat. It's because of the chemical nature of them and everything. Water doesn't do shit. As someone who's eaten ghost peppers whole, water doesn't do shit. So, ugh, oh my. I need to stop thinking about that, so let's move on to something else. I don't know. There's quite a few things to note in this. I mean, I already hated the cops, but it's like, oh my god, there was like some just blatant racism towards the spice dealer. Like, the way they were speaking to him, like, oh my god. That's not okay. I it's so bad. It's not okay. And it's like, I understand that that's the point, that these cops are supposed to be insufferable, but Jesus. Like, that made them one of the most hated teams for me, without question. Like, actively hated. They genuinely kind of piss me off here, if I'm being completely honest. There's also the Canadian figure skaters. I don't really have too much a strong opinion on them. There's the two gym lovers and everything, the scientists. Oh yeah, there's a lot of them I just don't have too strong of opinions on right now. The influencers. But then there's others that it's like, yeah, it's just you can't like them. And then there's others that it's like, so far I just don't really see an issue with them. I have a couple, I guess you could say, favorites right off the bat. I got an idea. Let me go to the opening, because that actually shows at the very end of every team, like, in a big, like, group there. Okay. So yeah, the influencers, I'll just go through them. The influencers I don't have too strong of opinion on right now. The stepbrothers, not a huge fan of, but I also still believe that they're going to end up becoming like best of friends in the end. The father and son duo, like, the father's kind of ridiculous and also sexist apparently. And the son is just sick of his shit, and it's like, that's real. The sisters, not too, like, fond of them, but I don't hate them. The scientists have no real strong opinion. The gym duo have no real strong opinion yet. The goths are, again, probably one of my favorites just because of their aesthetic. They haven't really said or done much of anything yet. The twin brothers, who are very accident prone and everything, I feel bad for them. I like them, but I feel really bad for them. Owen and Noah, it's like, Owen really fucking grossed me out in this episode, but I guess I'm still okay with him. And Noah, I've never really had strong opinions on one way or the other. Jeff and his best friend, I'm good with. The mother and daughter, I like the mother. She seems nice, but the daughter is a bitch. The best friends, again, with the girl loving the guy, I like them. The tennis pros weren't really focused on much at all in this episode. I have no strong opinions on them, but I'm kind of leaning towards negative. The LARPers, kind of annoying, kind of one-dimensional, and they're gone anyway now. The cops I hate, the figure skaters, no real strong opinion. The rockers also weren't really focused on much in this episode, but no real strong opinion. And the vegans, I kind of like them. I think they're kind of cute. And it's like, okay, so that's pretty even right now with all the teams. But we'll see how it goes as this continues. So thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, let me know down in the comments below what you thought as well. But for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.